TWS with a dual dynamic driver. Let's start the engine. Huh, that joke. Hello and thank you for clicking on this video. I'll be sharing my experience on Soundpeats' latest creation, the Engine 4. You've seen this thing appearing in a lot of videos, so I'm curious to see how it fares against my current favorite TWS from Soundpeats, the Capsule 3 Pro. But before we begin, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Soundpeats once again for sending this unit in exchange for my feedback. But as always, all thoughts and opinions are my own, and if you've been enjoying my content, please do consider hitting the like and subscribe button. That really helps the channel a lot, and I appreciate your support. Now that's all out of the way, let's talk accessories. For accessories, it's pretty much the same experience as with previous Soundpeats devices. You've got the cable for charging, some interchangeable ear tips, and the device itself. The case is about the same size as Soundpeats Capsule 3 Pro's case, but it's a huge fingerprint magnet. I honestly prefer the matte black finish because I don't need to keep wiping my fingerprints off, but I understand choosing another matte finish will make it look too identical to the Capsule 3 Pro's case. The design of the earpiece themselves are simple and elegant. You've got the logo on the faceplate and some textures on the side, and this is what the Gravastar series Pro should have done. Take note, Gravastar. While it's still on the slippery side at times, the textured finish helps with gripping, and there's enough gap in the case to put my finger in and get a good grip, and so in terms of functionality from its design, they've ticked the box here. For fit and comfort, it's small, it's compact, it fits my ear, and with a bit of twist and the right ear tips, it does sit tight inside my ear and I can wear them for long periods no problem. There is one thing this device does not have, and that is noise cancelling features, and coming from the Capsule 3 Pro, I kinda miss that function. So I hope they are able to adapt this into their next revision of this series because it's really useful for day-to-day usage. Also, the earbuds are rated IPX4, which means it can handle a bit of sweat, but don't go dunking them into pools unless you plan to ruin them. As for touch controls, it retains similar functions as the Air 3, like single tapping either side will raise or lower the volume, double tapping will pause and play, and etc. So I won't go into too much details for this section, but if you're interested in the full instruction, I'll leave a link to the Soundpeats video explaining the section in depth in the comment section down below. For battery life, on paper it has 12.5 hours of battery on a single charge and a total of 43 hours with the case. And on real life usage, I'm getting to about 3 to 4 days of usage before needing a charge, and you've gotten to a habit of charging every once in a while, then you wouldn't have to worry, and the app will show you how much battery life it has remaining as well. Speaking of apps, the Soundpeats Engine 4 uses the same app as the other Soundpeats devices, but it would have different settings depending on the device feature. For example, the Soundpeats Capsule 3 Pro has transparency settings because of the noise isolation feature, whereas on the Engine 4 it doesn't have it. But similar to the Capsule 3 or Air 3, you can customize your sound using the EQ setting, but it won't change it too dramatically, but from its base setting. And the following sound description is based off the Soundpeats classic setting. For bass, it punches like a middleweight boxer, which translates to it has punch and slam, but it's not very impactful, and it's not one to satisfy bass hits anytime soon. Of course, you can add more thickness and a note weight, but it still doesn't make it slam any much harder. There's some rumble in the deep end, but it's not deep enough to add texture to the bass. Overall, it's yet another presentation where there's enough bass to accompany the track. It's still enjoyable. It's a toe tapper at best, but definitely not a head rocker. For mid-range, I think this is where the Soundpeats Engine 4 ticks the box at the classic setting. There's enough warmth and weight to the notes. The vocals have a little bit more presence, so it stands in front of the background music. It doesn't sound too forward nor recessed. I think if you're looking to hear the sound as a whole but still prefer the vocals to be the highlight, this does it to a certain extent, and I quite like how it's presented on the Engine 4. For treble at the classic setting, it's smooth for me personally. It doesn't reach the realms of sibilance, which affects the sharp attacks on trumpets as they sound a little soft and further away, but there's enough treble presence that the overall sound doesn't sound too muffled, which I've heard on some dual dynamic driver IEMs, and fortunately the Engine 4 doesn't do that. With the right setting, you can add some openness and sharpness to the sound, but at the classic setting, it's not going to satisfy its treble hits either. For resolution and imaging is good. You can pinpoint the positions of sounds between the left and right field, but its separation isn't the best and it's a little softer on the edges, so it's not as distinct. Soundstage is about average, where it doesn't sound too close nor too far away. Depending on how you adjust your treble settings will influence the detail presence. At the classic setting, it's audible, but you have to really focus to catch it. I hear a lot of macro details, and sometimes the bass does overshadow some micro details, but you can always adjust it to make them pop. But as they are, it's good but won't be blowing anyone away. Versus the Gravastar, the biggest competitor to the Soundpeats Engine 4 would be the Gravastar Series Pro, in my humble opinion, which is another gear I recently talked about. And they both have similar function and design, although the Series Pro has a dynamic driver and a BA driver configuration, whereas the Engine 4 has a dual dynamic driver configuration. To summarize this section of the video, I personally prefer the sound on the Gravastar Series Pro, having a little bit more bite and punch to the upper and lower regions of the sound, and if you're purely into aesthetics, the look on the Gravastar Series Pro is unrivaled compared to all other TWS I've seen or own currently. However, if we're talking about function, then the Soundpeats Engine 4 has that, and their design choices make it much easier to use compared to the Gravastar Series Pro. And the fact you can customize the sound is another feature that would appeal to the general masses compared to the Gravastar Series Pro. So in summary, I really like what Soundpeats has done to their latest iterations of their TWS. However, I still find myself reaching towards the Capsule 3 Pro, not only for its functions and features, but also for its sound presentation, and it suits my current day-to-day usage. I think with a few more additions to the features on their next revision of the Engine 4 style of earbuds, it would make it a standout. But as of now, I'm still happy with where I am with the Capsule 3 Pro, and I don't find the need to change it anytime soon. However, this is based on one man's experience, and I'm curious to know yours. What are your experiences with the Soundpeats Engine 4, and would you change it from your current TWS setup? Comment below, let me know, and as always, thank you very much again to Soundpeats for this experience, and thank you all very much for watching. Until the next experience, take care.